Welcome to Margo Show. Today, our guest, Andrew Dykes, he's unbelievable artist with very unique style and technique. Okay, Andrew, can you tell us about your style first?
My style?
Because you have flowers, you have
yeah.
so many different styles.
I started out with flowers, but my style is all about building up the layers so you can get as much detail as possible. So like you can just stare at a painting and the painting almost stares back at you. So it kind of creates a personality for each drawing I do. Like the first ones I done, like incandescence. That one, like these flowers are like deal a lot with silver, like where almost like reflects back at you when the light hits you.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that one was from my first show I ever had, and as you can tell, like later on, like the florals, my portraits get like my drawings, they get more and more detailed. They become like more contrasted in some areas. Like I get more focus in some areas and learn how to really hone the craft behind that.
How many colors you do your flowers? And many colors?
It depends on like the mood or the setting. So like usually I pick like a color schematic for a show itself. So like I like to limit the color palette, not go too vibrant, not too like colorful, but just have something that really kind of works in cohesion as a unit. And like with the flowers itself, I always like to add some type of like either iridescence or some silver into there that like kind of like changes the flower's form, because you don't see those colors normally in a floral. So like when you see it, it kind of changes the idea of what the flower is. So it's like very masculine form of a flower. Usually a flower is painted very feminine, where you get like lost in like the brush strokes or the color schemes, like with like Monet, his lilies, like they're very like very hazy, and then like Van Gogh's sunflower.
Beautiful. I like the blue one actually a little bit. For me,
this one right here, the top one was actually I mixed the bluish green teal color into the gesso, and then I painted the white and silver on top of it. So when the light hits it, it created a green shadow, like it mimicked the bottom painting.
And you're doing this in a really big scale. Some of them
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah. So like I started out. These are pretty moderate size. Like I would say about like at least 15 by 24.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is like silver, or this is
this
what?
one's this one does a lot with silver, so it was a lot of silver and white, and then like I did a wash all around the edges to darken everything so that you can really focus it on the center of the dahlia. And I usually like focus mostly with dahlias because it has all those petals, all the arrangement, all the flower, just how it like branches out.
You're still doing flowers, or you do something else?
I'm going more into portraits, like
portraits.
like right now.
Oh, this is still flowers.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
still
this
flowers,
flower.
So I think flowers is a good foundation. This one I painted from a couple gardenias, like because they die so fast. So I painted like 3 gardenias like this, and it's just like the futility of time. Like you can see where there's life and how it kind of withers behind it. So like I really got into flowers for a while, and like.
Explain about this.
This one, I like to do about one self-portrait a year. This is actually a self-portrait.
This is a portrait?
It's a portrait, yeah. It's my teeth and
this
my
is
eyes.
you.
So, yeah. And this one's a huge painting, like about...
Yeah, I saw this. It's really huge.
Like,
And this is your portrait?
It's
and
my
your
portrait.
Eyes? Yeah, it's your eyes.
Well, I actually had the eyes from another show. It was actually like on a raised canvas.
And
I did
your teeth?
eyes.
And your teeth?
My teeth, yeah. And I want to go beyond the eye, so I decided to do a skull. So it's actually 2 paintings in one. I just hand stitched the oil painting on my eyes on top of the skull painting. So it's actually like you can see the process. Like it's not. I paint pretty fast, but when you see it in person, you can see like all the stitching, all the detail that you put into it. I think it should be about the technique as well as not just the painting. So.
What else you doing in this portrait? What is another?
I'm creating a few more like with these eyes and also stitching. So it's like I call them painting montage.
These flowers is unbelievable.
Thanks. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
those are the Menagerie series. I created a bunch of 4-inch squares, and they sell really well for me. Like it's just you create your own collection. If like you don't have to buy like the whole bunch, you just pick out the ones you want and
Yeah, I
create your
saw
own.
it. It's a very little but very
Yeah,
cute, very beautiful. They also what it's on, or it's on canvas. What is it?
it's on ampersand boards, and then I create little blocks and like hang it from the behind. So like I've already measured, so all of them are identical. So no matter how you arrange it, or like if you get a blueprint, you can like lay out exactly how you want it. And the media that I use is always usually different from one another. I always try to make it different, like each one unique to itself.
And most your media is acrylic on paper, on a canvas, or what else? Or mixed media? What you doing?
I like to use very minimal, like with what I use. So like right now, I'm doing a lot of charcoal on like
charcoal.
charcoal.
Yes.
But before that, like it's a lot of ink, a lot of acrylic. Like I don't like to spend too much on art supplies. I like to work very minimally and like see what I can create from.
But charcoal on what? On that?
Charcoal on latex paint.
Ah.
So like I buy like a pint from Benjamin Moore, and it covers an entire canvas. It's a lot cheaper than a tube, and I get the exact color that I want, and then I can create all the details I want on top of that. So like,
Okay, tell us about your background. Where you was born?
I'm from Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh,
grew
from
up-
the south.
Deep south.
Okay,
yeah.
deep south. How often you go there?
I go there maybe like once a year. I would
Once a
say
year?
maybe.
Your
20
family
times.
there?
Yes, that's where I was raised. My whole family like grew up there. Now we're kind of like spattered here and there. Like my brother's a Marine, so he's always
Oh,
like.
your brother's Marine? You
yeah.
have just one brother?
I have a sister too, and she's married to a Marine, so they're always traveling too.
Okay.
So, and I'm the only one in New York, I would say.
You have any shows in Alabama?
Yeah, my first solo show was in Alabama, and then I moved up here, and then I was like working in skincare and events.
What is
for a
this
while.
piece? It's a charcoal?
This one is a large paint. Yeah, it's mostly charcoal. There's a little bit of ink in that, but this is like one of the portraits I do is charcoal on like latex paint. It's I want to get
Beautiful.
all the detail in it, like all her hair, like. I call them like memento pieces, like how one is to be remembered. So like it deals a lot with identity, how like with Amy Winehouse, for instance, like for me, I thought it would be more about the eyes and her signature.
Unbelievable. Eyes is
yeah.
unbelievable.
But I got more into the hair like just like the rawness of it. This is one I'm working on currently. Like this is like showing like an idea of how I paint. Because I paint relatively large, but I break up the painting using tape, and that way I can like zone in on one area of the painting to make sure it's as accurate as possible.
Looks very interesting. Very unique.
Yeah.
This is unique. This is unique. Very
it's something
interesting.
I developed over time. I figured like I used to do like charcoal or ink, and I noticed
This is mixed media charcoal and ink.
Yeah.
And what
and
else?
it's silver in the eyes, and the background is latex paint.
And this green, it's a little pieces of tape.
Yeah, they'll all be taken off when I'm done in that area. I take that piece off and I just move on down. So like I build up sometimes the area with the tape, and then like when I'm finished with the painting, the tape won't even be there. It's just all the detail, all the.
Have you exhibited this piece and another piece somewhere?
No, this is one I'm currently working on. It's
working on
unfinished.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, this. I like this another piece.
Yeah.
Oh, this is in process, right?
Yeah, this one's completely different from
tell us
what I
about
do.
this process. So this is some of them done and some.
So I'm
how
very much like analytical math mindset, and this one does a lot with geometry, a lot with fractals, like dealing with the diagonals and mix it like getting connected with the dots. So I create like the whole template, the whole design on Illustrator on my computer. And then I print it out large and I tape it on the back, and this is all thread. So I paint the specific black I buy that absorbs light. And then I use the silver, so like the silver like reflects the light. So like
this is all silver?
This is silver thread. It's threading. It's a lot of sewing back and forth. So like it's different from what I normally do, but I'm very into like getting the perfection of like this one's almost like a flower. Like when it's completed, it will be like a geometric sunflower almost.
This is unbelievable.
Thank
How
you.
long it will take you to make this piece, really?
It will take
Because
me about a
looks like
week.
if you, just for
Yeah.
one piece.
But just for, because it's relatively large, like if it's
It's-
smaller, I can do it in a day maybe. But this is a much larger piece, much more detailed. It will take about a week. I mean, I just started it. I just want to show like something new I was creating.
Oh.
And
So do you know where you're going to exhibit this piece? Because I'm going to go there to take a look.
I have not had an idea yet. Like, I don't think it'll be like for like a show I'm planning later on. But like if it's finished, like I'll let you know. So,
Oh,
yeah,
please let me
yeah.
know. So what is where you've been recently on what exhibition?
I've done your shows. Like I'm about to do your 7th show, and like for me, I think it's very well curated. Like I think we have
Thank
a good
you.
relationship, and I think you really reach out, advertise. Like there's a lot of people that come, and I like seeing what comes out of it. Out of all the shows I've done in the past, I see a lot of growth from there. So so like I'll be doing your show next, and I'm planning on doing a solo show for the end of this year.
Very
And
nice.
so I'm gonna stop doing like all these small other shows, and focus really large. And I really want to create a spectacle, like something that like these large paintings. Like a lot of these paintings are like 6 feet tall, and I want like like just rows and rows of them.
Oh,
So
what is this? This is so beautiful.
this one's Sharon Tate. Like it's like
Oh.
I really like these tragic characters.
Oh,
And
this
I
is
see
what
a lot of
this
beauty with it. So
this is charcoal.
it's charcoal, yeah, it's charcoal and paper.
Maybe
And-
you tell everybody who is she?
She's Sharon Tate. Like
Yes, it's a tragic story.
she was the wife of Roman Polanski, and
Yes.
she was killed almost 50.
Yeah.
This year will mark
yes,
her 50th
probably
and
50 years ago.
50. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I didn't know that she was so beautiful. I
she's
haven't
really
seen-
beautiful. Like I plan on doing a few more paintings with her. This one is like I just want to get the detail because I might make a really large painting on this one. This one's
This
like
is unbelievable. She's
I
so
just
beautiful.
really want to focus on
It was tragic story, tragic story.
and just like like how her hair is like being enveloped all around her. It's as if she's almost like drowning in her own hair. And I just think it's a very beautiful photo of her, and I just wanted to draw it. So.
This is just charcoal or something else?
It's charcoal, yeah,
Charcoal on what?
on paper.
On paper. It's
Yeah.
charcoal on paper. This is unbelievable, beautiful piece.
Thank you.
So you have a lot of charcoal on paper you're
I,
doing?
I plan on like one of my resolutions this year is actually doing one charcoal drawing a week. So like I want to do like have one day where I just focus on one charcoal drawing, and the rest will be just painting. So like so like I plan on having more charcoals, more sketch studies that I can show what I can do, not just painting itself.
So this is not a mixed media. It's just a charcoal on paper. That's
Charcoal
all.
on paper, yeah.
It looks great.
Thank you.
So what is this?
This one is like when I first started doing portraits.
Oh, I think I saw this piece on
Yeah.
some art fair.
It was Art Expo.
Art
yeah.
Expo, right,
So
right,
I was
right.
doing musicians, and I was doing their handwritten lyrics. So like I get their like portrait, and I'm do it really detailed, and then I darken everything, so you kind of lose the detail with that. But if I didn't do that, you wouldn't see their handwriting on top. So this one deals with identity. Like each person had a different handwriting. It says a lot about themselves. So this is Kurt Cobain, and you can see like how he's a little bit sporadic, how he writes, and like just how he would cross something out, and like he was right-handed, but he played guitar with the left hand, and so like how he writes is very like kind of sketchy very well, and like how we just bracket everything if he will repeats a line. And like I was doing him, and then like if you like look at the like this one's David Bowie, and he's like more curvature, more feminine on how he writes, and so it deals like more with the identity of like who the person is, and not just the identity, but like just the technique behind all, like even their thought process. You can see how like how they write. It says a lot, in my opinion.
So
Like,
people like it when you put it on a show.
yeah, like
It's
I
interesting, very interesting.
it's really dark, like, cause like these are memento pieces. I do plan on doing one really large one in pink of Marilyn Monroe for a show. So like I have a lot of plans. Have like a million and one ideas.
Oh, flowers again! Look, these
Yeah.
people
This one was
unbelievable.
with a few of your shows, I believe.
Yeah,
This one,
unbelievable.
I call them kaleidoscope because like it reminds me of butterflies, and I like a group of butterflies is called a kaleidoscope. And this one actually changes colors. So like depending on where the light hits it, blue can turn to purple and vice back. So like it just I mix the different pigments together. So I mix like this violet iridescence with this blue ink, and like when I apply it and when I keep on layering it a couple times, that it will look blue in the shadow, but when the light hits it, it turns purple. So like I've done that with pink, and I've done that with a few other ones. And it just kind of like deviates from the silver that I keep doing over and over again, but it deals more with a different idea of like making a.
So this is a
flash
little.
pop up.
This is a one piece, or this is
These are 9 pieces.
Nine
They're actually
pieces.
like in boxes. So,
in boxes.
So like I wanted to show the paintings that wrap around the like thick
You can
canvas.
take each
Yeah.
piece different from this.
I'm
No.
selling them as a one set. Like
Okay.
yeah, they're basically like I want to do like a contrived painting, but go beyond the picture plane, like paint along the sides of the frame. So I raise the edges so that like wraps around. So it's a painting that wraps around this huge little box type
Beautiful,
painting.
absolutely beautiful. Who is your favorite artist
I
and favorite work and artist?
okay
What is favorite artist?
my favorite artists are kind of all unique. My favorite one like would be James Turrell. He like is a light sculptor. Actually, I was in college was in biological science at first, and a teacher was like, you had to go to this. There's an artist giving a speech. I went to him, and I've never seen an artist so dedicated to his own work. And like when you see his work, you're just enamored with it. Like he puts all his energy, all his money into his work, and I never was inspired or seen someone do that before. And like other artists like Andy Warhol, like the business aspect, like the hustle, how he like it wasn't just about the painting, it was about the business with him. And I think
Yes.
that's really great. Like how it's not like a lot of people get like too zoned in on like their own work, but you have to be
Oh,
able
look at
bit more
this.
relative. Yeah, this one is one of those large painting portraits I do. It's
Big paintings. What
yeah,
scale?
yeah. It's like almost 6 feet tall.
Oh,
It's Billie Holiday, and I paint her like in this bluish, like this neutral blue.
great portrait,
And
great.
with her, like like along with Amy Winehouse, they both had like drinking problems, like tragic
Yeah.
characters.
Tragic.
But like I don't want to like focus on the tragedy. I want to like focus on the rawness behind it. Like there's a raw beauty behind them, and so like even like just like with her singing, like you can see her like vocally project almost. Like I had someone came to one like international art festival we had. I had her next to Amy Winehouse, and Amy Winehouse, everyone went straight to her because she's painted red. It's a powerful color. But when they saw Billie Holiday, they would get chills or something like that.
So you probably have some music background, right? Or
No.
not?
I just love music.
You just
Yeah,
love
I
music.
just love music. I have my own style. Like I didn't listen to music most of my life.
What kind of music you like?
I really like rock, like
Oh,
rock,
good.
indie, folk, like anything with good lyrics, something that you can analyze into the lyrics and think like this person really thought about their own craft and like really like perfected this medium.
I love this, love
like-
this.
Thank you. This one
Yeah.
was one of my first show in New York. It's called Phillipsburg.
When was your first show?
It was early last year.
And just last year was just first show?
Well, I stopped for a while. I had like a few shows in college, and I had one in Alabama, but then I got lost in my job, and then I applied for an art fair, and this one it was a long application. I spent forever putting it together, and I was like, just do it, and I got there, and that opened a lot of doors. I met you from that show. And from you, like I met so many people from there. So like, I mean, you just got to keep pushing yourself out there, really. So like, and thankfully I have a friend that keeps like making sure I like keep doing good artists. Like,
Where was this first show?
first show was at Superfine.
Oh,
Like,
Superfine.
it was Superfine.
Yeah, it was
like, that
yeah.
was my.
It was last year, the first show?
Yeah. The first
Oh.
time they came to New York, like, I thought it was in a
Somewhere
real.
downtown on 14th
Yeah,
Street.
it was on 14th Street. I thought it was in a good location. Like I always see you in
Oh,
all these
I
art
found
shows.
you
so.
over there. I remember.
Yeah. That's
I
really nice.
remember because I came in and I saw these flowers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, right?
No,
I
that's
did
how we
you
first
over
met.
there. Yeah, but yeah, what you said I'm working. You still working somewhere?
Yeah,
or
yeah. I've worked with skincare for some time.
For
like,
where? For what?
Like skincare companies. Like
Ah.
last like I jumped here to there. My last one was with Kiehl's. I really liked the company. But then like, art shows just started happening. I couldn't work as much as I could, so now I just primarily just focus on painting. So like, I mean, like, I love the company, have nothing bad to say about the company, but right now, like, I'm going the direction I want to go in. I'm really happy with what I'm showing, the ideas I have, like I really want to create something really grand, like something just impress people. And that's something
When did you
really wanna
start
do.
painting? When? At what time? At what age?
I've always been drawing, like ever since I picked up a crayon, but I was always hesitant, and like I took all these classes like middle school, like high school, and then like I wasn't sure if I could be an artist growing up, so that's why I studied science at the beginning, and then I saw James Turrell, and then I changed majors, and then I changed schools. I went to SCAD, and I learned all these techniques, and afterwards I didn't know what to do, and like I had a show in Birmingham, but like once you start applying yourself, once you start showing, that's when you really start to like develop your technique, in my opinion. And like you gotta like go out in the New York art industry, go to the galleries. Like I keep seeing you in a lot of art fairs where we keep bumping into one another, and it's just like you gotta see what's relevant in the art world, not just like what you want to paint, what others would like to see. Like how can you like mold your abilities into what can be seen. And like I really like that, like when I go gallery hopping, for instance, that's one great aspect about New York. You can get some ideas that you didn't even think about. Like there were some paintings that like I was like, oh, I could do this, like painting on top of resin, or like something that like oh, that's an interesting combination. Or like how someone that just kind of impresses you, you might want to like stay in contact. Like there's a few artists I've like kept in touch with over the years, and it's like, and the ideas they come up with, like it's not something I would do, but I'm impressed with what they can do. And
You have a studio in New York?
I don't have a studio. I paint at home.
You
I paint at home, but what I just did, like I thought that was kind of something a little different, was that I just upgraded my storage unit. So I'm going to stash all my paintings on a storage unit, so if anyone wants to see it, I can take them there, and just show them all at once. So like,
yeah, but this big scale.
it's a large. It's a large.
So
yeah.
you have big studio, big home.
Yeah, I made sure it's like, well, I can only do like maybe 2 or 3 of them at home, and then like when they're done, I can just stash them in the storage unit, and then like hopefully I'm going to create a collection for a show itself. So
Very
so
nice.
I have a little layout, a plan going on, going with that.
Okay, what? Oh, I love your pants. Look, where
Thanks.
you got these beautiful pants?
I got them.
Artistic, very artistic.
Thank you.
Very, very artistic.
I bought them online from Korea. Like
Oh, okay.
I have a favorite site that I only wear like one thing at a time from that site, and everything else is like from a different company. Like I kind of create my own style from there. So I like kind of edginess, kind of like something that could like reflect from what I paint. And like sometimes I wrap scarves around my head, or like I just like you know, like what a rock star would wear. You know, like if I like rock, if I like listening to like what they're doing, if I'm inspired by what they do, why not like be part of that? Why not just hang out and be like a rock star with the art?
You
So,
playing yourself something?
playing?
Are you playing music yourself?
Oh no, I can't play music.
Yeah.
I like my mom
Maybe
tried.
you're singing. Maybe you're singing. Maybe.
No, I can't. I would sing horribly. My mom took me many years in piano, and I took like 1 year in bass, like the large instrument. But I never really stuck with that, and I think painting's like what I really gravitate towards. Like it's something that, like, I feel like it's a craft I can hone, and that I can keep developing.
So when is your what is your plan for next year or for the end of the year? Are you going to participate in any art fair, big art fairs, or where you going? What is the next show actually?
Like if you have like large art shows, like we did Art Hamptons last year, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a great show. International Art Festival, I will probably always do that. Like I think it's a great show, great venue. But mostly I want to like create like a collection to just not like just create like one painting to wow, but like a whole like series of work for one solo show that people can like have a reason to go to a show. Like I've heard like, you know, like with some cities, it's not true with New York, like some cities are artists just getting smaller and smaller, like Chicago. Like I gallery hop there and they
You're incredible. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
I wish you the best. Many shows, many more beautiful flowers, portraits, and everything. Unfortunately, our program is finished. Please come back. Today we have great artist. Hope he has a great future. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Bye.